The Unfiltered by Jade.
Jade.
Welcome to The Unfiltered by Jade, where we educate, empower, and entertain. Feel free to like, share, subscribe, download, donate, and make everybody know about this.
Beats by RB Records.
Shopping assistance, your style, your budget. Our services include online and local shopping for individuals and businesses, personal shopping, purchasing of company and office supplies, importing and exporting small packages across Jamaica and worldwide, and helping you find unique gifts and items for all events and occasions. Contact us at 876-919-5195 or shoppingassistance2015@gmail.com. Shopping Assistance, your style, your budget.
Welcome back to The Unfiltered by Jade. Today we have with us here Nicola McLeod, and she is a grants officer. She is currently pursuing her master's. She is a wife and she is a mother of 2. And today we're going to speak with her about breaking beauty standards. Hi, Nicola.
Hi, Kitty.
How are you?
I'm great.
Nice. So today we're going to have you talking about beauty standards and how we break it. Because in this society today, when it is that we are surrounded by an Instagram, social media, there are different beauty standards that we're told or we see that we need to live up to. So having this conversation today can break some barriers and have more persons looking inwardly than outwardly for what beauty is.
Right.
Yeah. So first of all, what are some of the common beauty standards that are prevalent in our society today? And how do they affect individual self-esteem and self-image?
Well, let me start with the ladies. What I'm definitely seeing a lot of on the online space that transcends into society is, we have to be all dolled up all the time. So you have to go get your hair done, get your wig done, you have to get your makeup done. You have to so it's really that being glam all the time. And in truth, there's nothing wrong with, looking beautiful or looking your best. But I think sometimes what it does is put pressure on people who are not able to do that all the time. Or persons feel less about themselves because, hey, either I can't afford to do this or this is not my life. And sometimes it can be an unrealistic standard for some of us. So some of these beauty standards require a lot of maintenance. Because getting a wig done or getting your hair done, it's not cheap to maintain. So you have to maintain that. And getting your nails done all the time is definitely not cheap to maintain that either. And having your makeup professionally done every time you're going out, if you're not the best at makeup yourself. And to be honest, what I also think is that sometimes we get so overly dependent on these beauty standards that when we see ourselves without the makeup, we're like, we want to have it on all the time.
Yeah.
And I've seen that where it's almost like you no longer like your regular skin just by itself or just bare by itself. Like it's almost like, you're covering up every time you have to go, you have to put on. And if anyone knows me, I love makeup. But I always try to have that balance that, this doesn't define me, it enhances me.
Yes.
When I choose to do it. But I don't hide behind it, or it's not something that I have to do every day. I have to get my makeup on before I get out of the house. And if I'm not able to, get my hair done all the time, and I know we're kind of in that kind of culture now,
Mm-hmm.
I remind myself that my path or my journey might not be like somebody that I'm seeing on Instagram who changes their hairstyle every week. And again, I'm saying nothing is wrong with that. But if we're not in that space, we have to remind ourselves not to get jealous, not to look at that person and start feeling depressed within ourselves. Why can't my life be like that? Or why can't I be like that person? But to understand and recognize that our journey and our beauty journey is different. And those things, they don't define us. They are enhancements, but we're beautiful with or without them.
But Nicola, touching on that, for persons who you said, example, want to change hairstyles or different looks every other week, aren't they doing it because of what they see? They want to. It's almost like keeping up with the Joneses. We see something and we see that, hey, they change up their hairstyles every week, and we want to do that, but sometimes we don't know what they're doing in order to do that, to keep up that kind of lifestyle, because it's really so that people can see. Nobody really changed up their hairstyle. Okay, I'm gonna change up for myself, and nobody's seeing it. Most of the persons that do it so that they can put it on social media and people can be commenting on it. That's the purpose for it, really.
Right. There are some persons that is truly them. That's their personality, that's their
Okay.
form of expression, that's their thing.
Okay.
But you do have other persons who it might just be that they're just following the trend.
Mm.
So wherever the wind blows and wherever the trend goes,
Right.
that's where they're blowing to. So
Mm.
whether or not it's them, they want to be in the limelight or they want to be in the spotlight. And in the age of social media, it's almost like no one wants to be left out, so to speak. So
True.
we all want to be a baddie. We all want to be living the soft life.
Ah.
I don't remember the rest right now, but and to be honest, I think all of those, it's all about balance, because all of those things have a place at some point. So
Mm-hmm.
even as a wife, there are times when, hey, of course, I want to look good. I want to look good for my husband. I want to look good for myself. I want to
Right.
be a body. And there are other times in my life where I want to live the soft life, like as a mother, where I just want to relax. I want to be catered to. I want to be pampered. But it's always balanced, not to get carried away with the Instagram and the TikTok, mainly Instagram, because
Right.
it's really just a snippet, like a few seconds, pictures,
Seconds
a
of
few
people said,
seconds of
mm-hmm.
someone's life. Like,
Yep.
you are seeing that. And as you said, we don't even know what people are doing to maintain these beauty standards. Some persons can
Right.
genuinely afford it. It is their lifestyles.
Right.
Others cannot, or others put themselves in precarious positions to be able to live like that. So we are looking
Yes.
on, we're just seeing a picture or a reel or a photo, or a video, sorry. We really don't know the details of what's going on behind the scenes. And it's one thing that's, kind of changed the conversation is social media, because while we had beauty standards when we were growing up and we saw them on the TV, because yeah, on the
Mm-hmm.
internet like that at that time,
Mm-hmm.
it
True.
wasn't so pressuring. So yes, there were trends
Yeah.
and you want to be in the in crowd, but it wasn't so pressuring as now, especially because we have a lot of teenagers online, a lot of adolescents. They haven't yet found themselves,
Themselves.
and then
Mm-hmm.
they're
Mm-hmm.
already bombarded with so many images, so many ideas of what they should be before they have even truly found themselves and their beauty, not just on the outside, but the inside. So I'm always concerned that I don't want our young women and even our young men too to be so caught up in what they see online that they don't get to become self-aware. They don't get to learn about themselves and what makes them beautiful, what makes them unique, what makes them stand out. Because one of the things that I've come to accept is that regardless of whether my hair is done or not, regardless of whether I'm wearing the latest outfits or not, regardless of if I'm wearing the trending brands or not. I am still me, and
Yes.
I'm still the same person. So I'm not defined by those things. And that's really what I, would want for our young women and our young men to understand, that when it comes to beauty standards, that you 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 can enhance yourself, but just don't get lost in it, that it defines you and it takes you over, because you are much more than what is on the outside. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
what's on the outside is
Mm-hmm.
what people see first. So
Matters.
it does matter. You want to be going around looking any old way, but but at the same time, it's an addition.
And as Christians, also,
Yeah,
you and I, we know the Bible talks about we're created in the image
right.
of God. So it doesn't really matter, as you emphasized before, how we look. It's the clothes don't make us the persons who we are. We do that for ourselves. The clothes only enhance our look. The makeup only enhance our look. The jewelry is only enhance our look. And in order to keep up with the beauty standards, we're now turning it into something more than what it should
Exactly.
be.
I agree with that. And I always tell people, because I'm constantly misjudged, because people will see me online, and it's mostly online, because if you know me in person, especially if you work with
Mm-hmm.
me or we've gone to school together or something, that you will know that I love fashion, but I only
Mm-hmm.
really dress up if I have an occasion. So I'm not the type of person to be walking around like I'm going to work and I'm in my heels and I'm that, that hot girl in the office. That's not me.
Mm-hmm.
For varying reasons. And by the way, nothing is wrong with that. But people always see me online, and the pictures, they're like, "Oh my god, you have a million clothes. You must have a million clothes." And I can see that you always get your hair and your makeup done, and you always look so put together. And I'm like, that's because those are the pictures that I share. That is not. That is not even one day a week, because I don't even go out that often to dress up anyway. And if I do need like a pep in my step, or I need to feel good about myself, then I may just get up randomly and say, "Hey, I'm gonna do this." But that's really not
Right.
who I am. But there'll be somebody looking
Right.
on, seeing my profile and thinking, "Oh, this is the type of person that she is," and that really drives home that social media really does not capture anyone's total life or who they are, and
No.
people pick and choose what they want to share. So you are not seeing
Mm-hmm.
the
Nobody's gonna share something where they
right.
look top down.
You're not seeing the downside. You don't see how I'm looking on a day-to-day basis, because I'm not sharing that on that platform. Maybe I'll share it somewhere else, but you're not going to see that there on my feed, because I have a
Right.
particular preference when it comes to on my page. I want to put out my pretty pictures, but
Right.
that
Right.
is not my life. And so you're right when you say the clothes, they don't define us. And
And that's where social media platforms, it actually perpetuates unrealistic
right,
ideals of persons and their beauty standards, because it these platforms, they only challenge us, and we can only break certain standards by seeing it and not follow. Okay, I see this, I'm gonna buy this clothes because that person have it. I said it. We have to break that standard, because especially here in the US, many times people buy clothes, try it on, take pictures, and carry
right.
it back. We don't know. You get what I'm saying?
Exactly. So they're living that return culture. So they go return it,
Yes. Yes.
and we are not seeing
Yeah.
that side. And for social media, that's why I appreciate. So I'm not a vlogger or a influencer or anybody like that. So
Mhm.
you're not gonna see me, putting up videos channeling my life. But I do appreciate those women who show us both sides, to say,
Mhm.
hey, this is what my life is on a day to day. So it's not as glamorous as it.
Yes. Yes. I appreciate
I
that. I appreciate
appreciate
that.
that. I always say that you don't need to be. in what is trending, especially like when it comes to clothing. You don't need to be in what's trending to look good. There are things that are
That's
just
right.
classic that they just look good, and those are the pieces that you buy. So you don't shop according to trend, where you know that you buy this piece of item today, and by a few months it's outdated in quotation. And because you are following the trend, you're going to be putting yourself in debt. For example, if you can't afford it
Yes.
because
Mm-hmm.
you need to be wearing what everybody else is wearing or whatever. That is
Mm-hmm.
definitely not necessary. That's when you're letting your clothes define you and your beauty.
Yes.
And that is not needed.
No.
But, you know, social media and society says otherwise.
Different. It says otherwise. What impact can breaking beauty standards have on our mental health and overall well-being?
It can have a great impact on our mental health because when we look in the mirror, whatever we see, whoever we see, whatever comes to our mind when we look at ourselves, that has a great impact on, you know, your mental health and well-being. If you're not comfortable with who you see in the mirror, that
Hmm.
expresses itself in so many ways. And so
Yes, it does.
it's so important that we know ourselves, we're self aware, we love ourselves in every
Mm-hmm.
shape, sphere, and condition, so that we're
Mm-hmm.
not tied to these beauty standards that may make us at times feel less than. Because
Yes.
when we are bound by those images that we're seeing online, or those beauty lifestyles that we're seeing online, especially by influencers, you when you're constantly measuring yourself to someone else, you'll never measure up, or other people.
That's right.
So it may not be one person, maybe multiple people. You'll never measure up because you're always going to find something that they have or they're doing that you don't have or you're not doing. So it's really important to break that break the barriers of the what are the beauty trends or whatever, so that you can know yourself and love yourself for who you are, regardless of what the current trend or standard is. When you love yourself, it's so freeing and it's so empowering mentally, because once it is that someone doesn't have that self-love, it affects their self-esteem, it affects their confidence, and then that feeds into so many other areas. Just how someone enters a room, how someone engages with someone else, all of that is coming from something as simple as not feeling beautiful, not feeling
True.
confident in themselves. And it's a slippery slope for some people, because if you're already struggling with your self-esteem and you're already struggling with your identity, then chasing these standards will only make it more difficult for some
Yes.
person, and that will definitely affect their mental health, because they're trying to live up to something that may not be possible for them. Or even if it is possible, the is it giving them the satisfaction that they're looking for? Is it giving them the fulfillment that they're looking for? Most times it's not.
It's not. And like for persons who have problem with self-esteem, I'm gonna say I believe that at this time when they're
Mhm.
struggling, it's best for them not to be on social media.
Right.
Why? It doesn't help them mentally at all. Because no matter where you go, as you enter Instagram, especially Instagram, you're gonna see these things. You're following influencers, especially influencers who don't show realistically how their lifestyle is. You're gonna see these things. So you're gonna see people waking up, and if you watch vlogs, people waking up looking like they bathe and them have on makeup. Nobody really sleeps in makeup like that. Nobody wakes up that way. And there's unexpected expectations now when it is that they put themselves in a situation where they always want to look a particular way because this person always looks a particular way. They don't. They don't. They don't look that way because the 15 minutes sometimes of vlogs that you're seeing is 15 minutes. Afterwards, they probably take off their makeup, bathe, and you don't know how they look afterwards. When influencers take photos, as we spoke earlier, you take photos of your best side. Nobody wants to take a photo and don't look good on social media because they're doing it one for likes, for people to like their photo, to comment, to follow them. We have to understand that these are reasons for people to do it, not necessarily that this is who I am. And in a world now where we see people can do anything to change how their body is, it's important and imperative for people who are suffering or are vulnerable to, susception of these social media models to not sometimes follow them because no want our waist to
Yep,
look
surgery
tiny.
culture. We going
Surgery
into
culture.
the dolly body and yeah, the dolly them, and it's 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 more than, and I always feel like, as I said, it's always balance and moderation. So nobody will be perfectly happy. Like, yes, I love myself, but when I look in the mirror, like, right now, I wish my stomach was flat, or or
Nicola, don't even bother. Don't go there.
trust
Nicola, don't
me,
go
you're
there.
not seeing.
Well,
Like,
okay.
when I look back at pictures after I had my first son, I was like, oh my gosh, I should have been grateful. Look at where I look at where I am now. So as women and as people, of course, there will be things about our body that we don't like. But what my concern is
Mm-hmm.
about the surgery culture is that you say so you go someone will go in and they want to change one thing, right? And then short after they go in, they'll do another surgery and they'll do another. Clearly, it's more than just the physical. Clearly, something is happening in the mind,
Mm-hmm.
that you are not happy with who you
Right.
are. You are not happy with what your imperfections are. And sometimes we want a quick fix. So for some persons, we want a quick fix. So we might not
Yes.
necessarily want to work out. And hey, I'm definitely not chastising anybody over that, because right.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm
Mm-hmm.
not
Each to
working
their
out either.
own.
So I understand the levels to this. But my concern is that
Mm-hmm.
when we are, going in and we're getting our breast done and we're getting lipo and we're getting BBL and we're doing all these things, when you look in the mirror, do you still love the person that you're looking at? Do you still accept the person? Do you still feel
Mm.
like you're you? What is it that you're searching for in the surgery to fix? Because sometimes we think that persons are, they just want to look a particular way, but they are really not happy with themselves. They as much as they may look beautiful and what we see in a magazine and
Mm-hmm.
Coca-Cola bottle shape, so to speak, they may be struggling with their self-esteem.
Well, that's the main reasons that they may
Yeah.
be doing
So,
so, and we don't
and
know.
that's again why, so they're not sharing that side. They're not putting that side of it out there. So that, the surgery culture is kind of a trend right now. I'm glad that we're, getting to the point where we're saying yes, we're celebrating natural bodies. That it's okay if we do not look
That's
like
right.
Kim Kardashian, or if it's okay that we don't look like a Beyonce. I think celebrities have influenced our culture and our beauty standards so much, and it's really unrealistic. These people have a
Yes.
wealth of they're wealthy. They can afford all the nannies, they can afford all the treatments, they can afford all the gym work, they can afford so many things for them, and of course some of them do surgery as well, but they can afford to look a particular way in their
Mm-hmm.
lifestyle. They have a million people catering to them hand and foot, and you are there looking on and you're like, oh, you want to be like that, or you wish your life was like that. But we have to remember that celebrities live a very different life from us, and they are, as much as we think they are the picture of perfection, They're living under a microscope. They
They're not.
are not. We have to realize that they are human too. So don't think that because they look a particular way, they're not self-conscious. They're not struggling with certain things too. They are. So we have to know ourselves and love ourselves and not be looking to anyone as a beauty standard. So you, I
Very
definitely
nice.
don't believe that anybody should be your beauty standard because it's unrealistic. If you measure yourself to somebody, you're always going to be falling short. You're always going to be coming up short. So you have to
Always.
find out how to be the best and the most beautiful you, and that does not only. And I know it sounds cliche, but it's really not just the outside, because I have seen and just observed, women in a room, and it's just like, have you ever seen a woman and she's so confident and she's just radiating? Like she's just glowing, she's just beautiful. And it's just
Mm-hmm.
literally about her confidence. It's not even the
Mm-hmm.
physical, whatever. Or you've heard a woman give a presentation or a speech and you're just like, wow, amazing. So it's more than just
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
the outside.
And the problem with that is, even if it is that for beauty standards, there are a lot of women who do. You can put on makeup, but if you don't have anything else to offer, it doesn't make sense. So sometimes what we have internally inside of us, and we bring it up, will make us more beautiful and enhance us more than just clothes and just makeup. It's what we can offer, it's what we can bring, it's who we are. Because you have people who are so
Right?
beautiful, but
And
their
their
attitude is
attitude
not.
make them ugly, or they have an ugly personality.
Right, right, right. And it
Yeah.
makes the total package ugly. So it's really not just looking at somebody, oh, they're beautiful and I want to be like them. No, character also speaks. And speaking of that, how is it that we can celebrate our inner beauty and kindness and compassion towards ourselves? How is it that we can do that living in this world where it's social media standards that we go by? How is it that we can
Well,
celebrate
it's
ourselves?
really being the change that you want to see. I always believe that's where it starts, because
Hmm.
if you don't start with yourself, you're going to be looking for somebody else to solve the problem. So if we are all being the
True.
change that we want to see, it will happen. So as I was saying earlier about, those women who show the other side, and even how we're celebrating, natural bodies. Even natural hair was like taboo. Not taboo, but you have natural hair, people look down at you. Yeah, they
Yeah,
were
people
interested,
don't
but
want to see
even
it.
now, how things are, where that is now being celebrated, we just have to continue highlighting the positive. So we who desire
Yes.
change and want to see things differently, we have to be promoting that. So we have to be intentional about highlighting that. And even just the persons who are in our spaces, or the young women or young men that look up to us, or even just around us, because sometimes you don't even know that somebody's looking up to you, but they're in your sphere of influence. How are you positioning yourself to them?
Right.
How are you letting them see by example that, hey, I'm more than just my hair, I'm more than just my makeup and getting dolled up, I'm more than just looking
Mm,
good, I'm more than just chasing after a particular body shape or body type. What are we showing to them for them to celebrate their inner beauty and say, hey, it is important for me also to have something else to bring to the table other than just my physical appearance, other than just my looks. So we
mm-hmm.
have to be promoting and celebrating that and showcasing that to spark that change in others, or that we want to see in society.
Sounds good. How can individuals actively participate in breaking beauty standards in their daily lives and their
Well,
communities?
by not being a slave to it, by not being chained
Nice.
by it. So we spoke about, not necessarily following trends, but hey, we might see something, we might see some routine or something that we might decide that we want to try it or jump on it. But we're not following every trend. We're not going where the wind blows. We are not chasing some
Right.
unrealistic beauty standard. We are loving ourselves first and finding out what best suits us and what enhances us but not defines us. So we're not allowing a beauty standards to enhance us,
Nice.
to define us, sorry, but we're recognizing that these are just enhancements. They're just adding to what's already there. So let's work on what's there. Let's work on the foundation that is us. And I feel like once we're doing that and we're being true to ourselves in our daily lives, other people will look on and they will see that. So you're not going to necessarily walk around with a
Yes.
billboard, or you're going to walk around advocating. Well, that may be someone's area of passion, to advocate for inner beauty and not being bogged down by beauty standards. So that could be a way as well. Someone may be an online advocate or an advocate in our community or our churches, talking to our young people. But it's important for them to see people that they look up to, sharing, with them, what's the way to go. However, what I think as well is that it all starts with us as individuals. So any form of change, it has to
Yes.
start with us before it gets to the community, before it gets to society. Someone has to be a catalyst. And if you're looking to someone else, you're throwing the book, you're passing the book. So the book have to start with you. So you have to
Mm.
decide that, hey, you want to be this change that you want to see. And I know that persons, for me, so if they met me, at a particular event and they would have seen me look a particular way, but then they'll see me Monday morning or they'll see me a few days after and they'll see, I'm dressed down, I'm I'm not wearing a wig, I'm not wearing any makeup, I'm not that picture of perfection. Insert air quote there. They're not seeing that picture of perfection, and they say, Nicola is comfortable in her skin. This doesn't define Nicola. Yes, she likes to look good, but she's so much more than that. And even for myself, there are times when I don't know if this has happened to anybody else, but especially when it comes on to professionally, there are times when I've actually been uncomfortable in being the center of attention because of how I look. Because I don't want. So it's nice to
Mm.
get compliments about your outfit and stuff. That's nice. But I also don't want it to be that I walk into the room and it's only about how I look. So you're not even listening to what I'm
Right.
saying because it's all about the outside.
Your
And
outfit.
I don't like when the attention is, it's too much on that. I want you to hear me, to understand me. I want you to see me as, yes, as an attractive person, but still an attractive person who is confident, an attractive person who has something to offer. And it's not just about my look. So it just goes back to the same point of the balance, offering more of yourself other than just the outside beauty, but what are you bringing to the table as a person? The inside beauty is just as important as outside.
I agree with you in terms of that. Persons who are advocating are people who, there should be more persons or people out there who are comfortable with themselves. If we see that you're comfortable with yourself instantly, if it is that, someone had a baby, and, with having children, sometimes, we have stretch marks, other things on our bodies. And you see a mother out there comfortable with her stretch marks. She's comfortable in her body because, it's her body that brought this child into the world and she's comfortable. Being comfortable like that can
Right.
encourage other mothers to not feel a way about
Right.
their bodies after having babies. Because on the other hand, you also have people that are so uncomfortable with their body changes that they now want to go
Right.
and do surgeries to fix it so that they can now look like how they looked before, not realizing that we did something with our bodies in order to bring a child, and this is the result. So instead of praising a woman for it, people sometimes look down on a
Right.
woman.
That's
Even a
true.
woman herself does it. So it's very vital and important that we find people, if we're going to follow people, find people who are comfortable with themselves, comfortable with their bodies. Yes, I'm comfortable with myself. I do need to work out, but this is where I am. This is it. This is my reality at this time. And it's okay if the stretch marks don't leave, I'll still love myself. That's where confidence is. That is where, as I said, women walk into the room and you see that aura. You
Right.
feel that aura of confidence around them. And it's not because they don't have an issue with themselves, or
Yeah.
it's not that they don't have a problem. Them probably don't like say them to hear or whatever it is, but at the
Right.
same time they're confident in who they are. That even if it is that they have stretch marks, you cannot put them down or demean them for it. They already know they have it, so you
Yes.
can't say anything again to make them not
Once
have it.
once
They
you've
already know it's
accepted a
there. It's
flaw
what it
about
is.
yourself or anything about yourself, nobody can use
Yes,
that to hurt you. Once you have accepted it.
absolutely
Like,
nobody.
yes, this right. This is a part of me as the full package. It's part of
You're gonna either like it or not like it, but this is me. And I'm confident in who I am. And therefore, if I am, I can put it out on social media and not be offended by it. If you don't like it, you find
right.
somebody else who fits your liking. That's just how it is. But be confident in ourselves and not allowing social media to determine how we look, what we do with our life, how our family operates is important. And especially when it comes
Very
down to beauty
important.
standards. Yes. I want you, Nicola, to tell us where is it that we can find you if it is that persons want to get in
Great.
touch with you.
So if you want to find me, I'm over on Instagram. That's my main platform. And my handle is
Mm-hmm.
Nicola with two underscores. So it's Nicola underscore, then another underscore, Christina. And you can follow me there on Instagram.
Nice. And thank you so much for, your part in terms of breaking the beauty standards and even allowing people to understand that, hey, we're all beautiful. No matter how you look, no matter the shape, size, color, we're all beautiful. And it doesn't take clothes or makeup to show that. It enhances it. And well, I'm not going to say everybody, but most women love the enhancement and nothing is wrong with it. But as you said many times, balance is important. So we balance it and we not go too overboard because we want to
Right.
look like someone.
Yes, and it's okay if you're not there yet. It's a journey. I struggled with
Mm-hmm.
self-esteem when I was
Mm-hmm.
much younger, and I have really grown to love myself in all phases. And it's a journey. It doesn't mean that
Nice.
you're going to be perfect, you won't see any flaws, and there will always be things that we'll need to work on.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't chase these beauty standards or these unrealistic beauty standards, but find the beauty in you, what makes you.
Nice. And what makes you unique? Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much, Nicola. And thank you so much to our listeners on the Unfiltered by Jade. And we'll be back next week, Tuesday. Thank you. You can also purchase my book, Things Left Unsaid Before I Do, Diary of Gloria Adigold. This is on Amazon, and the link will be in the description below. Thank you.